Hello, and welcome to an episode called Quantifying Television Commercials. Okay, here we go. So, here's the assignment for Dr. Diane Balduzy. You want to watch TV for an hour and list the types of commercials shown, and then categorize them in some way. You need to figure out how to set it up, and then create a small table in Excel with your results. Here's my suggestions. Step 1, prepare ahead of time. Get a partner and split the duties. One person should be watching the show, one person should be watching a clock. Show watcher is going to watch the television screen and announce when each commercial starts and stops. You should have a pencil and paper to write down information about each advertisement. Not always so easy. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what a commercial is for, but usually at the very, very end they put their logo up. The clock watcher should look at a clock with a second hand or a stopwatch. You should also have a pencil and paper. You're mostly just writing down the times. It's really tricky to be looking at the screen and looking at your watch at the same time. I highly recommend A, that you have two people or more doing this together, and B, pick a show that you do not find interesting. It's much harder to pay attention if you get sucked into the show. You really should be kind of bored by the show, so you're just focusing at the commercials. Step 2, watch the show, do your roles as best you can. Show watcher, watching, trying to figure out what each commercial is. Clock watcher, just writing down times. If you get screwed up, fine, just start over again. It's only a half hour that you have to do. Step 3, combine your information. Now, at first, you're going to have sort of messy information. The show watchers will be like, oh, people were playing basketball. I don't know. Okay, it was a great Gatorade commercial. People, playing checkers with the grandkid. I don't know. Okay, some kind of insurance company. Okay, you got all this information. Then meanwhile, the clock watcher, when you said start, they wrote down 4:27:05. Then you said new ad, meaning that it's sort of the end of one ad, the beginning of the next one at 4:27:36, and so on. You've got all this information. Next, you want to combine these into a single Excel document by listing out, okay, what was the product, as best you can remember, come up with a category. Maybe you come up with all the products first, and then you kind of figure out what sort of categories you have going on, and then the length in seconds of the ad. And generally, I think commercials are always 15 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute, so round to the nearest like 15 seconds. Or if you're pretty sure it was a 10-second commercial or 40-second commercial, then round to the nearest 5. None of them are going to be like 27 seconds or something like that. So here you have sort of an Excel document. Write out your information. What were you watching? When did you watch it? When did you begin and end? And then you got sort of this list of products and list of categories. What do we do? Well, first, okay, so Gatorade is a food and Coca-Cola is a food and such like that. And then you round all your lengths to a certain amount of time. Now, what we want to do is we want to come up with percentages for each category. So what do we do over here? So then you have sort of, the category totals is going to be what? We have food. How many foods do we have? We have 30 seconds on food and 30 seconds on food and 30 seconds on food. So food has a total of 90 seconds, okay? And then what else do we have? We have insurance. There's only one insurance, and that is 30 seconds. And then what do? We have only one medicine. I don't know how confusing it's going to be when you actually watch the show. We got cars. We got 2 cars, 30 seconds and 15 seconds. Cars for a total of 45 seconds. And then what have we got? Then we got food is already done. Clothing is 30 seconds. And you might end up with something like Amazon. It gets its own category because whatever. There we are. It's 30 seconds of Amazon. Okay, you should probably have more than this in half an hour of television programming. There's somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. But just suppose these are your categories. Now the first thing you do is you highlight all of this and you go up. And what's my favorite one? My favorite one, you go to home and you say auto sum. I love auto sum. Bang. Okay, so we got 270 seconds worth of ads total. And then to get your percentages, you just say, write equals. That means you're doing a calculation. And then this amount divided by the total. Equals 90 divided by 270. There's a percent. Equals 30 divided by 270, there's a percent. Equals 15 divided by 270, there's a percent. Equals 45 divided by 270 equals equals 30 divided by 270. There's a faster way to do this, but whatever. Equals 60 divided by 270. Now, these aren't technically percents. To turn these into percents, you would just multiply by 100. So this would be, 33%, and this would be 11%, and this would be, let's round up to 6%, and this would be about 17%, and this would be about 11%, and this would be about 22%. And there you go. These should all add up to 100%, 100% of the time, and then you get an idea as to what, in this, my example, not done from actually watching TV, food was a third of the commercials, Amazon was a fifth of the commercials. And that should pretty much do it. Good luck on your